Hello, you are welcome to. If you can hear me, please say hi. Hello, you just have 1 minute more. If you are there, say hi. Let me see your hi on the comment section. It's 11 o'clock. If you are there, say hi. So let's get started. Can you hear me? If you can hear me, say hi. If you can hear me, say hi so that we can start the class. If you can hear me, say hi in the comment section. In the comment section, say hi. Can you hear me? Okay, okay. Um, Luyolo, I don't know if I'm pronouncing the name correctly. I've gotten just one high. So everybody, okay, okay, okay. I think I've gotten too high. That means you can hear me. So I'm just going to start the class. And I'm just going to explain what programming is, what coding is, how the relation, what coding, the application of coding in our daily life activity. So we are going to start. I think others are going to join us on the way. So the attendance is pinned on the comment section. If you check the pinned message, you are going to see the attendance. And today we are not going to have an assessment class today. We are not going to take any test. We're not going to take any assessment today. The attendance is up there, but from tomorrow we are going to start taking class assessment that you're going to write you are going to do it online. So that's what we are going to collect to get certificates for this free training program. You're not paying a dime. So we are going to start now. So I'll be sharing my screen. Sorry. I'll be sharing my screen. So first and foremost, we are going to start with what is coding. Coding is the process of writing instructions that computers can understand and execute. Now, there are certain instructions which is normally referred to as lines of code, which are written to a computer that it now executes to give the desired results. Now, for example, if we should check all the softwares, the applications on your phone, on your PC, they are all products of different lines of code, which were now collated together to form what a software or an application. So coding is the process of writing instructions that computer can understand and execute. So if the instructions you give to the computer, if you should make any lines of code, if there's a mistake in any lines of code, you would see that the computer will be unable to read that particular thing. You understand what I'm saying when we start improper. So this involves programming languages to create codes, which is the set of instructions that tell the computer what to do. So it's the lines of code that tells the computer what to do. So if you want your computer to design, let's say to design something like this, like a PowerPoint like this, there is a particular code that's going to generate the software that you use in doing something like this. So in simple terms, we can say that coding can be defined as writing instructions for computers and other hardware. So that is what coding is. So the computer is able to read instructions, which are called what? Programs. Programs are just simply means embodiments of lines of what? Code. We have different programming languages. We have HTML, we have Python, we have Java, we have JavaScript, we have React. There are so many. Now, for this class, for beginners, for those people that are new into the programming sphere, we have to start from the basics. We are going to be starting with HTML, which is hypertext markup language. That's what we are going to be starting with. So we are going to take it step by step. So if I am too fast while explaining it, you just write on the comment section that I should take it a little bit slower. So we have different programming language. I guess you must have heard about Python before, Java. So those are different programming language that we have. The Python, Java, JavaScript, React, like that. So they are so numerous. How does it work? Coders, they write instructions in these languages, and the computer translate those instructions into machine code called what? Binary, that it can now directly what? Execute. So when you write these lines of instructions, when you write these codes, these are what the computer now what interpret. They will not execute and they will not process it to give you what you want it to do. So what is coding used for? Coding is used to create almost everything digital. Anything you can see that is digital, it is what? A product of what? Coding. For example, when you are creating apps on your iOS or your Play Store, you use what? Coding. When you want to create softwares for your computer, you use what? Coding. For example, you want to build a website. Every website, it's an embodiment of what? Codes. You write your website from start to finish of every website. It's you use what? Codes. You also use it to create goods and services for clients. For example, you want to buy goods, like every one of us, we tend to do e-commerce. We go to an e-commerce website to shop. Like we have Jumia, we have GG, and so on. That they are all what? Lines of codes we are used to write those particular websites. No matter the website, even the softwares we use in churches like Easy Worship and so much more, they are all what? As a result of lines of different what? Codes. They might be of different programming languages, but they are results of lines of code. So you want to develop add-ons. What are add-ons? For example, you are using Google Chrome, and now you need a VPN or you need an extension. That's most times when you go to your Chrome setup. Let me just show you what I mean. When you go to Chrome setup, you will see lots of add-ons on your Chrome what? Setup. When you go to, okay, let me see. Okay, not here. Extensions. So when you go to visit Chrome Web Store, you will see different lines of add-ons. So those are also gotten from lines of code. To create open source software which developers can use to use both end, front and the back ends, they are all what? So we are going into the business of the day, which is HTML. So how many of us know what HTML is? If you've heard of HTML before, just drop a comment section. Oh, my screen is blank. Oh, sorry. Can you see my screen now? Okay. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Uh, Let me see what the problem is. I'm going to share my screen again. Let's see. See my screen now? Can you see my screen now? Please just drop a comment if you can see the screen now. If you can see my screen, what's on my screen? Just write write on the comment section what you can see on my screen, please. Okay, thank you. Someone said you can. So that means I'll have to start all over again. I thought you could see my screen as a there. Okay, let me just start all over again. Okay, this is what we've been explaining. I guess you heard what I said. Maybe you could not see the screen. And we were just talking about coding, what coding is. How coding is simply means writing instructions that computer can understand and execute. And in simple terms, coding can be defined as writing instructions of computer. and other what hardware, the computer is able to read instructions called what programs, and these programs are just what lines of what codes. The codes can might be any programming language. It could be Java, it could be JavaScript, it could be HTML, it could be whatever. Now, what is coding used for? I said coding is used to build softwares for computers. It's used to create mobile and online applications. It's used to create static HTML web pages. It's used to create operating systems, like the operating system we are currently using on our PC now. It's produced, or it's generated from what lines of different what programming codes. You understand? To develop add-ons, I was explaining add-ons. What are add-ons? When you get a cPanel host, there's what they call add-ons. That, for example, you want to build a website, you go to your cPanel. There's a particular. We'll get to that particular when we are talking about web hosting. But for now, I'm just trying to explain a general overview of what coding is used for. It is used to develop. It's used to develop add-ons, library frameworks, and plugins. Now, for those of you that have heard of WordPress, you've heard of WordPress is a CMS application to use that you can use to build your website. Even if you don't know any line of code, you can use it. They use what they call plugins. Those plugins are produced or are generated from what lines of what code. And I said for the basics in this particular class, we'll be talking about HTML. We'll be talking about HTML. And I asked the question, how many of you have heard of HTML before? If you've heard of HTML, that is what we are going to be starting off with in this beginners class. Now, most times people will say, I know HTML, but there are HTML it's kind of bulky that we have different phases in HTML, but we are just going to run through each and every one of them in this particular class, and then we are going to take some ones that we are going to do. Now, what's HTML? HTML text markup language. In every website, most times in every website, you tend to have an HTML code in every front page of the website. Like most developers will call the front page of their website as index.html, or you can also save it as index.html. Don't worry, we are going to be bringing out an editor to use to write a HTML code. But what I'm saying is that every static website, you tend to use HTML to write such website. So it stands for Hyper Text Markup Language. And HTML is the standard markup language for creating web pages. It's also used to describe the structure of web pages, and also consists of series of elements. In an HTML, elements of an HTML has what they call the opening tag and the closing tag. The opening tag and the closing tag with the content that has the opening and the closing tag. Don't worry, when we get to that bridge, I will explain what an opening tag is and what a closing tag is. In every line of code, you have opening and closing tag. But for HTML, we are focusing here now on this particular phase one on HTML. HTML element tells the browser how to display the content, and HTML elements label pieces of content such as the heading, the paragraph, the links, and all. So we're talking about, we use the worksheet test and explanation. Now, this is where we are going to, the first thing that when you're writing an HTML code, the first thing that you are supposed to do is to define the document. And that's what this doc type HTML declaration does. It defines that this document is an HTML5 document. So, for example, how many of you have your laptop there with you? Okay, how many of you have your laptop there with you? If you have your laptop, let me just write hi. If you have your laptop there with you, because we are going to do something now. If you don't have your laptop, just say no. If you have your laptop, say yes, so that I will know, so that if I can teach add-ups. If you have your laptop, say yes. If you don't have your laptop, say okay, hi, yes, okay. Just one person has the laptop. Any other person with the laptop? Any other person with the laptop? Because what I'm going to explain, okay. We have 3 people. If you know you have your laptop, please just let me know. We have 3, just 3. Okay, we have 3 people. Now, The first thing that I guess you can see, can you see my notepad? Okay, I'm going to make it big. Now, this is a notepad. Now, before we go into the notepad, I'm going to, okay, let's just take this theoretical part first. The notepad is like a text editor. I guess you know where the notepad can be found on your PC. Now, if you want to get a notepad, now we have different text editor. We have what they call the Visual Studio Code editor, but we are not going to use that for HTML to write HTML code. We are going to be using a notepad to write HTML code. So if you want to get your notepad, you can go to your search bar on your PC and you type what notepad. You can see it there. It comes up, then you just click on it and it will open. So that's how you get. So you can just do that and open it on at one particular side of your laptop. Then we are going to use it much later. So the doc type HTML declaration defines that this document is an HTML document. Now, in every HTML lines of code, in every HTML script, after when you are writing an HTML code, when you are writing an HTML script. So if you want to generate, if you are writing a script or you are writing a web page or you are writing a whatever you are writing in HTML, the first in a web page you should start it with doc type HTML. You understand? And it should be in this form of bracket. Okay, so sorry. I think I'm having network problem here. Um, so sorry about that. I guess can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Okay, thank you, thank you. Now, we are talking about. I don't know where. Okay, let me just. I'm just going to start from the. Can you see my screen? Can you see my screen? Please indicate yes. Okay, okay. Can you see my screen? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I think the network is kind of acting up. What I will do is in our subsequent classes, I will try and use a different location. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. I have three different networks here. I don't know why all of them they're acting up. Okay. Now, thank you, thank you. Now we are going to continue from where we stopped. We said we are talking about the HTML. I said the doc type HTML is the first line of code that you write when you are writing an HTML. And the doc type HTML declaration defines that this document is HTML5 document. And I also told you that after the doc type HTML, the next line of code that you are supposed to write is the opening tag of the HTML. And remember, I said the tag HTML tag has the opening and the closing tag. So you should know that whenever you are writing an HTML, the doc type HTML does not have opening and closing tag. It's just the HTML tag that has opening and closing. Don't worry, when we start doing some practicals, you'll get to see what we meant by having opening and closing tag and the content. Everything in a tag, both the opening and the closing, everything within that tag is called what? An element. We'll talk about that when we start writing the code. Now the head, I told you about the head. I said the head, it's what is the second part after the HTML tag, and in that head, that is where you have what the title. That is where you have what the title. I was explaining that this live stream here, the free virtual and everything that you can see at the top, where my mouse, where my cursor is, you know, those are the titles. That's what displays on your browser. That's what displays on your browser. That is what you are going to put on the head. Now, when you're also doing what they call the CSS code, you're writing the CSS code, that's the cascading style sheet code. You are still going to put it in the head if you are doing what they call internal or external styling. You are going to use the head. Don't worry, we'll get to that. That's when you want to make your web page look beautiful. You want to style it. You want to style it just the same way you style your clothes. That's how you also style a web page. Now, after that, I told that the body comprises of every other thing. The body has what they call, has the header, it has the page and everything that you can think of. Now, in the body, you also style what the body. When we start talking about CSS, we're talking about style. Why the H1 is the header. Now that is the biggest header. We have different types of header. We have the H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, and H6. The H1 is like the biggest heading when you are talking about header. You understand? After the H1, you now have what they call the H2. From the H2, you have what they call H3. We have H4, H5 like that, and H6. But we are going to talk that we'll go into details when we start writing these lines of code. Why the P is for the paragraph. Now, the paragraph, that's where you write your content, like these contents that you're seeing on the screen now. These are, you can put them in the paragraph. You understand what I'm saying? Now, after that, we are going to say what's an HTML element. I've already told you what an HTML element is. An element is what? It has the opening tag, which has the tag name. The content goes in between, and the word closing tag. You can see the way they write the opening tag. So, for example, we want to make this tag name now P, the paragraph. We just put what P. P is for paragraph. Write P there. And when we want to close, you have what a slash sign before what the P. That's how you indicate the closing tag. Every closing tag has this word, this slash sign, and the word P. I guess you are still with me. Can you hear me? Okay, you can hear me. Thank you. So we are going to continue. So for every lines of code, okay, we are back again. So how many have you been able to access your notepad? If you've been able to access your notepad, please kindly indicate by writing notepad on the comment section. If you've been able to access your notepad, please kindly indicate notepad on the comment section. Please kindly indicate notepad on the comment section. Don't worry, tomorrow I will see how best we can get use the place that we won't have to see this network issue. This network issue, we have to work towards that. So if you've accessed your notepad, just write, okay, notepad, I've seen one. So if let's see another person, if you know you, okay, notepad, okay, 3, 4, okay. Anyone using a Mac PC, if you've been able to access your test edit, just write test edit. If you've been able to access your test edit, just write test edit. Notepad, okay. Access your notepad. If you know you cannot access your notepad, you can indicate on the comment section so that we can assist you in teaching you where you can see your notepad. So now I'm going to start sharing my screen. We are going to start. We are just going to do few things today, and since the network is acting up, we'll just do few things today. So I'm going to my screen now. Okay, now. Okay. Now this is my notepad. The first thing I'm going to do in this notepad, I'm going to save it. Now, you are going to save, let's say we are designing the front page, the front end of a web page, of a website. So we are going to save this as, now you can decide to save it any way you want, but generally, most people tend to save it as, they save as, let me save it on my desktop. Let me just save it on my desktop. Most people tend to save it as index.html, but you can decide for this class, you can decide to save it in any way you want. But I'm going to save this as index.html. Now you can decide to save it as index.html or index.html. HTML is still going to give you the same thing. So I have saved mine. If you've saved yours, let me see it on the comment section. Have you done that? If you've done that, let me see it in the comment section. Now I'm going to my desktop. Let's see. Where is my index? Okay, this is the index.html. I'm going to open it now. Of your browser. You can see it. You can see that it's just at the heading here showing index.html. You understand? So how many of you have done that? You just save a notepad with index.html or index.html. Any of them that you want to save with, you are still going to get the same thing. So saved. Okay, save just one person. Any other person who have done that? Let me see. Just one person has saved as HTML. Just if you are having difficulty, okay, saved. Okay. We have okay, we have 5 people online currently. Okay, saved. Okay, now thank you. We have 3. Okay. Now I guess every other person can save it. If you know you cannot save it, just indicate on the comment section. Now the first line of code we are going to write. What's the first line? I said in HTML that the HTML declaration we use what they call the first one, which is what? The doc type HTML. Sorry, right, doc type HTML. Then we close. Now this just it tell the document that tell the browser that this is HTML what 5. After this, I said the next thing that we are going to write is what? The second tag is what? HTML. Sorry, then you close. And remember I said that the HTML has what? The opening and the closing tag. Has the opening and the closing tag. I guess the network is still working properly. Okay, yeah, the net I think yes. Oh, the screen is blurry. How many? Oh, can you see my screen? Is it still blurry? Please indicate, is the screen still blurry so that can you see the screen? Please write on the comment section if you can see my screen. Too tiny to view. Oh, okay, okay, don't worry, don't worry. Can you see it now? Okay, okay, thank you. Now, okay, so let's continue. Now, the second line of code is going to be HTML. And remember, I said the HTML has opening and a closing tag. So we are going to close it. We've not written anything inside, but we are just going to close it so that you won't forget. So we'll close it. Sorry. We'll close it. Now, after the HTML, I said that we have what they call the what? The head. And also the head has what? The head has what? The head has what? A opening and a closing what? Tag. Opening and a closing tag. So I'm just going to come down here and what? Close the what? The head, sorry. So I'm going to save. Now, everything I've written here, nothing, we've not done anything because we've not written any. We are just trying to define the scripts. We are trying to define what the scripts, because these things that I'm going to do is necessary for us to put a content on it. You understand? Now, in the head, that's what we are going to write what? The title, right? So the title has what they call the opening and the closing tag. The opening and the closing tag. So we are going to write title. We are going to write the opening tag for title. And remember, I said we are still going to close what? Do you understand? Now, in this title, who will suggest, someone should suggest a title for us for this web page. Someone should suggest on the comment section. Suggest a title that we are going to use for this particular. Okay, let me make it bigger. Okay. Is that okay now? Can you see it now? Can you see? Is it bigger now? Is it bigger? Please do let me know. Let me know. Okay, okay, thank you. Now, the title, I said so much is a title for this. Okay, my first HTML coding. Nice. So to write the title here, my first HTML coding. Now I'm going to say. Now remember, I said that the title, that's what's going to display on your browser. Remember, we've saved this particular notepad as index.html, and it's saved on our PC as a browser. So right now we are going to open the browser and see what we've done so far, if we've done anything. So if we've done something, it's definitely going to show what we've done. So let me go back to my browser. This is the browser then. It's opened here. So I'm just going to click refresh. So what is the title here? Can you see the title? My first HTML coding. So that means we've succeeded in writing our first line of code, entitling our web page, which says my first HTML coding. So how many of you have done that? If you have done that on your own, let me see. Oh, somebody said no, sir. Please let me know why you said no. You said no, no. You can't see my screen. If you can't see my screen, let me know. How many have been able to achieve something like that? How many of you have been able to write a title for your okay, done, done, that's nice. That done, okay, that's nice. Um Atamin or Jubilee, please, you said no. Please kindly indicate why you said no so that okay. We just have two people who have done that. Please, the others, let's see what you've done. Have you been able to do it? Done. Okay, we just have two people who have done this. Can we see the others? Let's see the others. Okay. I was unable to get along because of the okay. Oh, sorry, sorry. Because of the tiny view. Okay, okay, no problem. I'll do is that okay, I can't see your notepad clearly. Okay, 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 no problem, no problem. Um two people just said Olatunji and Atamino. Okay, what I'm going to do? Can you see? Okay, I'm going to cancel. Can you see the notepad like this? I'm going to cancel everything again, and I'm going to start all over again. Can you see? Can you see my notepad? Just indicate if you can see it now. I've made it bigger. Can you see it now? I'm talking to okay, I'm talking to Olatunji. Can you see the notepad now? Is it bigger now? Or do you still want me to enlarge it? Okay, Olatunji said yes. Tamino, please, can you respond? Okay, I should enlarge it also. Okay, I should enlarge it more. Okay, no problem. So can you see it now? I think this is the limit I can enlarge it to the screen. Can you see it now? Okay, okay. So I'm going to start. So I said the first thing that you will do, just for those two people that said they didn't see, the first line of code that you should write is the doc type HTML. That's to define that, declare that this document is HTML5. You write, sorry, you put the exclamation mark, then you write doc type HTML, then you close it. I said this is the first line of code that you should write before writing any HTML document. Now, after this, I said the next thing that you should write is your HTML opening tag. Your HTML opening tag. You write the HTML opening tag. And I made mention that when you have an opening tag, you also have what, a closing tag. Not for every tag. Like the doc type HTML does not have a closing tag. This HTML has opening and a closing tag. So you come down, you just come down and you can just you put it there forward slash HTML, then you close. You understand what I'm saying? Now after the HTML, I said you have what? The head. That's the head. The head has what? That's where you put the title. So you come here, you write what? Your the head, then you close. Do you understand? Then you are going to close the head also. You close with a forward slash, then you write what? Head. Now every closing tag has what? A forward slash before the tag name. A forward slash before the tag name. So when you want to close a particular tag name, you use what? The forward slash before the what tag name. Now I said we want to put what a title. Now the title was what the title. To create a title, we have what open the tag of title, then we close, and the title was my first. Okay, I'm going to just write in the capital letter now, so that class, you understand? It does not matter. I'm writing in capital letters so that it will you see the difference from the title that it was before and the title that I'm writing now. Then after this, then we are going to then we what close. Now when we close it, I'm going to click on what save. Do you understand? Now when I click on save, now remember that we've already on my desktop. So I'm just going to go back to my desktop. My desktop, which is here. I'm going to just click on it. When I click on it, you can see it's my first coding class. You can see the title at the top. Do you understand now? So can you try that so that we can continue? Okay, you've already done it. Okay, okay. Olatuji, have you done it? Olatuji, were you able to do yours? Is Olatuji still there? Olatuji, if you are still there, say hi so that I'll know that you are still here with us. So is there anybody that didn't understand what I said? If you understand, so that I can go over again and then so that we can continue. Is there any person? Okay, Olatuji, were you able to do yours? Have you been able to save to create a title for your web page? Have you been able to create a title for your web page? Okay, Olatuji, are you still there? Okay. If you know you don't understand, drop a comment, or if you know you don't understand, drop a comment so that I can explain all over again if you know you don't understand what I've been saying. I guess we all understand. We all understood everything, right? Okay, so now we'll go back to our notepad. Now, we've succeeded in creating a title. The next thing that we are going to create now is we'll now go into what the body of this particular web page. Now, this is the body. So you have to write what the opening tag of the body. And also remember I said it also has what? Do you know why I always say you should write the opening tag and the closing tag? Because most times when you get busy with different lines of code, you might end up forgetting that you've opened a particular tag. So we are doing this now so that you get used to it, that every opening tag has what? A closing tag. Every opening tag has a closing tag. So I'm going to close the body here. I'm going to close what? The body. Now, within the body, we are going to create our first content, which is what? The header. The header, the first heading is what? H1. Then I'm going to close it. Welcome to class. Then remember /H1. Then I will close it. Then I'm going to save. In saving that, let's see what's oh, I'm sharing the screen. Sorry. I have to reshare the screen again. I think that YouTube. So can you see my screen now? Can you see my screen now? Can you see my screen? Can you see the screen now? Please indicate if you can see the screen. You can't see my screen. What's happening? Okay, let me I'm coming. Can you see my notepad? Please indicate. Can you see my notepad? I'm going to share my screen now. So I'm sharing the screen again so that let's see if it's going to work. It should work now. It should work. So can you see my screen now? So indicate if you can see my screen. Okay, okay, thank you. So now what I was explaining is that we are now going to, okay, that means you didn't see what I did here. Let me just cancel this. Let me just remove this. Now I said after, okay, we've talked about the title. Now we'll now come to the body. So you have the opening tag of the body, then you close. Remember, I said most opening tags have what closing tags, not all of them. So we'll now come here, we'll close the body. Now in this body, I said we are going to write our first heading. Our first heading will be what? H1. Which one? Let's write our first heading as welcome to class. Then I'm going to close it. So let's see. Let's see what's. Can you see it? The heading is showing here. Welcome to what? Class. Can you see it there? It's too large. Some people said that it's too small. Some said it's too large. Okay, let me do it. Let me take it like this. HTML. Then we close it. Maybe if you want to write H3, thanks for joining. So that's if you want to. So these are the we have. You can do it up to H what 6. Do you understand? So it depends on the size that you want. So let me save and let's see. Let me save and let's what see. You can see that the first one is bigger than the second one. Oh, learning. I made a mistake in my spelling. Learning. So I'm going to save. So you can see that we have the H1 is the biggest, the followed by the second one, which is what the H2, and the H3 is the what smallest, is smaller. So if you want to do, you can do yours up to what H6. So okay, you are still seeing just my face. I thought you said you were seeing my screen initially. Do you know that I've been sharing my screen? Can you see the screen? Because the screen is up. Can you see my screen? I think I'll have to do it this way so that when you are saying you can't see my screen, I can be. Okay, don't worry. Let me so that whenever you tell me that you can't see my screen, I will know what to do. Let me just hold on because I don't really need to see this. Okay, can you see my screen now? Can you see my screen? Is it clear? Is it very clear to you? Can you see it? Okay, okay. Can you see it? Let me just get from here from like 3 to 5 people. Can you all see it? What's happening? Why is this screen not showing? Okay. Let me switch off the. Sorry about this whole network. Tomorrow we'll try and fix it up. So, can you see my screen now? Can you see my screen? So, can you see my screen? Okay. So, my screen when I was writing the H1, H2, H3. Did you see my screen when I was writing H1, H2, H3 again? When I did the body opening tag of the body and the closing tag. So, if you know you didn't see it, please indicate on the in the comment section, and so that I can start all over again. If you know you didn't see why when I was right, why when I opened them, the body tag and the closing body tag, please indicate in the comment section. Okay, you saw it. Okay. Please, I need two other people to confirm. If you know, if you know you saw it, just say yes. If you know you saw it, just indicate by saying yes. Okay, you didn't see it. Olatunji said he didn't see it. Any other person? Okay. Now, what I said is that you saw when we created the title tag. The title tag, we created the title tag. Okay. Another person said yes. Okay, okay. Now I'm going to explain. Okay. Olatunji, I'm explaining to just you alone. Now the body tag, I remember I said you have to have what they call the opening and the closing tag up. Okay, it's clear from the H1. Okay, okay. So now the opening, you have to write the opening tag, the body opening tag, and the closing body tag. Now the H1 is your heading. It's like every website has a heading. You understand? The H1 has what? A heading. So H1, welcome to class, that's the biggest heading. H2, like that, you also close the tag. And H3, that's what we've done. You understand what I'm saying? So this is for your heading. This is for what? The heading. Now, in after the heading, you might say a paragraph. Now, a paragraph is written as what? P. Sorry, P. Then you open it. Let's say we are getting started with the class. I'm sorry, I have to maximize it now with the class. Then I'll now have to what? Close the paragraph. Sorry. So we are going to save. Now, when you save, let's check our browser and see. You can see our paragraph. The paragraph is smaller. Is what? Small. You understand what I'm saying? So that's for the paragraph. Now, in this paragraph, you know, there are sometimes that you tend to write so many things. Like you let me just write some things there. You write meaningful things. I just want to explain something to you. Now, this is a paragraph. You can see that I'm going to save now. I guess you can still see my screen. You can still see, can you still see my screen? Can you still see the screen? Okay, I'm going to save this. Now, when I save, I'm just going to go back here and then I'll refresh okay. Now we are supposed now be very, very careful. So I didn't close the uniform. Let's say I want to break it here. Let's say I want to break it here. Called B arrow. B arrow is to what? Break. What it's going to do is that it's going to start a new line. It's going to start a new line. So I'm going to save now. I will save, and when I refresh, you're going to see that this length, this long thing is going to break down and it's going to come down here. Now, look at it. You can see the break is going to break that line, that particular paragraph, and that paragraph, it takes it to the next what line. That is the function of what break. Understand? Do you understand? If you understand, please say yes, I do, so that I will. Now, what you are going to do is that we've done the paragraph, we've done the break, what's it called? We've done the break tag, we've done the title tag, we've done the paragraph tag. I want you to do that now. Do that, and when you are say done, just indicate by saying done, so that we can go into um the next phase. If you've done that, just say done. Okay, please just say done. Once you've done it, if you've done your own H1, H2, H3, if you've done up to H6, now this what I'm saying now, we are you okay, done, that's good, that's good. Now what we are going to what I'm saying now, we are going to do most we are going to do more of this thing in our assessment, because tomorrow we are going to be taking an assessment on what we've learned today, what we are going to learn tomorrow. We are going to take an assessment. It's going to be a live assessment. And then at the end of the class, I'm just going to drop a link, and we all are going to use the live Zoom. You are going to write it. You are going to be writing it's going to be on, you just write, you use your computer, then you screenshot. How many of you know how to screenshot with your computer? How many of you know how to screenshot what you are doing on your computer? If you know how to screenshot on your computer. If you don't know how to do it, you just press shift Windows button and X. For those of you that there are some laptops that you have to use a print screen, but when you press shift, put your hand on the shift button, the window, and X, it's going to bring the sniping tool. You just drag the sniping tool around your laptop that is on your screen. So done. Okay, it's just Jubilee that said that is indicating that he knows how to screenshot on his PC. Who screenshot on his or her PC? Please indicate in the comment section so that we can continue. Oh, not seeing the screen. Is it that you are not seeing the notes part, or you are not seeing the screen? Please, what are you seeing, Olatunji, please? Olatunji, what are you seeing in your screen? Olatunji, please indicate what can you see in your screen? Pad. Olatunji, can you see the notepad now? Okay, it's okay now. Okay, thank you. So it's just just two people as that has been indicated that they've done it. Olumide and then Jubilee. Those are the two people that have done what I said. Have you been able to recreate what we have learned today? Have you been able to recreate it on your PC? Now, this is an assessment that I want to see now, but you are going to do it tomorrow. So I just want to be sure that you are following what I have been saying. How many of you have recreated it? Done. Okay. Okay, Jide said done also. Okay, we have 3. Okay, let me see the number. Okay, we just have 3. Let's wait. We normally, so I will advise that most times you can benefit from these classes. Subscribe to the YouTube channel and you turn on the notification bell. So when you subscribe to the YouTube channel, you definitely get an alert when we are online teaching. Even we might not be taking the beginners class, it might be the advanced class. So you can also it. So I will advise those that have not subscribed to the channel to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so that we can you can you can be notified when we have other classes with other people. So just three people indicated done. Okay, the others, what's happening? If you don't understand, please indicate in the comment section so that I can explain to you. I want every one of us. I want everybody to be on the same page so that would not leave anyone behind. Has everybody done that? Or if I'm too fast, you let me know that I'm too fast so that. Okay, okay. Okay, so we have the fourth person who just said done. Now, the next thing we are going to do now, let's see, let's see something. Okay, now the paragraph, I guess you can see my screen. I'm going to enlarge my screen now. Now the paragraph. Now there are some tags that that are used for styling that I'm just going to explain here. Now, for example, want to make more emphasis on this particular, let's say on this particular, we are getting started. We use the EM. So I'm going to close it. And let's say, you can see that we are getting started as it's different from the others because we are trying to emphasize on that particular what's it called, on that particular line as what emphasis EM. You understand? Now let's say for example we want to make it bold. We use the term strong. And let's see. Oh, sorry, Olatunji. I'm sorry. You said I'm too fast. Okay, I'll take it gently. So, for example, we want to make it bold. I will have the opening tag of strong and the closing tag of strong. Then I'll save. Can you see that it's now bold? You understand? It's now what? Bold. So, making it bold, you can use what? The strong. You can also use what? B. Let's try B. B. I guess you can see the difference in every of the tags that I. Okay, somebody said more like italize the lettering. Yes. No, there's what we are still going to do italics. Italics is I. We are going to use I. Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry. We will still use I. Bold. You can use what the strong. So we are going to use what I. Let's use what I. And then we are going to close the tag off with what I. Then we'll save. Let's see now. You can see now it's in italics, just the same way when we did for what the emphasis. You understand what I'm saying? Now, let's use another one what they call subscripts. Okay, let me show you something. Let's say we want to write, we are getting what started, and then I will write 10 2. Now, maybe I want to make this 102 to be 10 raised to power 2. Then I'll use the word, let me use what? Sub. Then I'll close it. Can you see it? That's what? 10 raised to power 2. Sub simply means what? Super. it means what? Super. So, for example, for those of you, you that do mathematics and you want to write code, you are doing coding, and you want to do 10 base 2, like log 10 base 2 in coding, you now say what? You now use what they call sub. Instead of sub now, you now use what? Sub. You just be and what? Here what? Then you can see it. So that's what 10 what base what 2. So today we've been able to talk about some tags. Remember, when we were using the BRO tag, we didn't close the BRO tag. I guess you notice. So the BRO tag, it's an open tag. You don't close the break tag. Also the HRO tag, you don't close them. You just use BRO. BRO is just to break. So there's nothing like open, I'm saying. So we now know. So let me just go down. I'm not, okay. I want to make this one. Want to put it at the center. Now, this is like kind of a very, very crude way to put this particular header at the center. But when we start talking about cascading style sheet, I'm going to teach you how you align text to the middle of a particular okay, let's go back. You can see that it's now at the middle. Do you understand what I'm saying? Now, I just wrote a particular tag to take everything to the middle. But this particular thing I've just done, you can also do it using what they call text align. That's when we're talking about CXS. And I think we'll go into CXS tomorrow. I think we'll talk about CXS. We'll be styling some things, basically, of everything that we've written. We'll style them. We'll add colors to them. We'll change the font, border, and do some things with it. And then, so that's what we are going to. After that, tomorrow, that will now have to take what? Our first assessment. Because in the first phase, in phase 1, we are going to be writing the last assessment on Saturday. On Saturday, then we'll do. We want to ask as regards, because it's supposed to be a 1-hour class, but we had network challenges, and so that was winter. So maybe tomorrow these particular lines of code to make it very, very good in the eyes. Then we'll not be talking about what style is equal to you understand. We'll write all of that tomorrow, but for today, let's start is a one step at a time. So if you have any question as regards what we've learned today, please indicate. Tomorrow we are not going to do any, we are not taking any theoretical part. We are just going to be going into straight writing the lines of tomorrow. So whatever you've learned today, you have to understand it better, not bring us back to where we are now. So if you have any question, it's time for questions. I guess you all have filled the